Hello everybody, this is Appyshka and we are reviewing the game Cowboys vs Ninjas vs Aliens. This is a so-called twin-stick shooter developed by Dead Mushroom in collaboration with IMAX Games. It was released a couple of days ago, so basically it's new and fresh. But it seems that the gaming community has little knowledge of the game, so we're trying to inform you and show you some gameplay and tell you about the game itself. So do you remember the movie Cowboys vs Aliens? Well, it seems like the developers have extended the idea and introduced ninjas to the smash of characters. And also, instead of different races like humanoids and zorgs and other familiar guys, there are three types of characters: aliens, ninjas, and cowboys. And in this game you play as violence-loving Chuck West. He's a very determined guy. He rides a donkey and possesses a wide collection of guns. But to obtain them all and to use them, you need to unlock them first. Well, all the weapons are upgradable, and you will have a lot of fun upgrading them, choosing them, and shooting your enemies with them. Oh, by the way, you may ask, how did the aliens and cowboys and ninjas end up in the Wild West? Oh well, there is a story. The aliens were apparently exploring some territories, and they happened to land in Japan, where they picked up a bunch of ninjas who were mesmerized by the spaceship and who decided to join the aliens. And all the guys, the villains in this game, ended up in the Wild West, where the lonesome hero Chuck West fights them all. So basically the game is about shooting. Here's a tip. When you're shooting your enemies in the levels, you need to get as far from them as possible, as your weapon allows you to do. Because when you're really close to the enemy, for example to the ninjas, they will slash and hack you with their katanas or whatever they have in their inventory. All this only means that it's certainly better for you to get further from the corners and from different obstacles like stones and walls, so that the enemy's katanas cannot get to you. On the screen I'm trying to get to the next level, but first I'm exploring my inventory and I see there a gun which I upgrade, and I can also pick up some explosives which I can also upgrade and use instead of guns. But I basically enjoy shooting at my enemies, so I'm using the gun only. By selecting more than one piece of weapons from the inventory and getting equipped with it, you acquire the main weapon and the hidden weapon. You can swap between them in the game and use the one you like the best. When you start a game and you see the reddish colors on the screen, this means that your hero is being hit by the enemy. When you see the skeletons on the screen, you need to collect them as they give you some extra skills. In the levels, you need to also collect stars. The more stars you collect, the better it is. If it happens that you haven't achieved a star, you don't get to another level. All levels are replayable, so if you collected too little money, you can always go back and collect some more. In the game, you can do a lot of stuff. First of all, you can defeat your enemies, as all the games of the genre suggest. You appear as Chuck West, who enjoys shooting his guns a lot. You defeat the enemies, you collect some collectibles after them, like money and skills, and of course some power-ups. Although I haven't found out what the skeletons that I collect from the dead bodies of my enemies mean, what skills they give me exactly, but I found some other power-ups, like the one in the shape of a hot chili pepper. When I picked it up, I started spinning and hitting my enemies with the force of the spin. You can also collect some weapons in the levels. When you kill your enemies, sometimes a weapon of a certain kind is left after them, so you need to be very swift to collect it, pick it up, and use it afterwards. It seems like the collectible weapon is on every level in the game, but I found it only in one of them. What I like about this game is its humor, as I might have told you. Well, your character, your hero, rides a donkey. It's not everything he can do. He can also buy a pig and ride it, or a bull, or even some alien machine that gives him some advantage. The animal and the head are levels of protection of your hero, of Chuck West. When you are hit by the enemy, first thing you lose is your animal. The second thing you lose is your head. And the third thing you lose is your life. So keep your animal closer to you and keep yourself further from your enemies. Trust me, you will have a lot of fun, much more fun actually, shooting your enemies from the distance than if you were shooting them by getting closer. The game Cowboys vs. Ninjas vs. Aliens is a piece of delight for those who appreciate some good humor and those who are into third-person shooters. But for those guys, this game is just to sit and relax, this kind of game. Taking into account the game's humor, variety of unlockable and upgradable items, and also the diversity of enemies, Cowboys vs. Ninjas vs. Aliens is a great product. We recommend you downloading it and playing it. You will have some fun and you will be able to relax with Chuck West and his weapon collection. This was Cowboys vs. Ninjas vs. Aliens by Dead Mushrooms, and it was Appyshka with you. Please rate us, comment us, and tell us whether you liked the game or not. Thanks for watching. Bye bye everybody.